just so there's no misunderstanding, we have had a full opportunity to review each and every one of these proposals. So if we move quickly, it's not that we're doing so in the blind. We've all had an opportunity. I make the motion, we approve this, and let's move on.
Second.
So we have a motion by Mr. Bullard and a second by Ms. Poole. Please vote. Motion approved unanimously. Request item number 2, Parkway High School baseball facility improvements. Mr. Cottom.
Yes, ma'am. So this is another request by Parkway High School. This is the Booster Club. They have a budget. They would like to sort of construct a turf area around home plate and then a halo. And they've kind of, we've got a couple quotes. We're trying to help the school with which company really go for. There's 2 different well, I won't get into it. I don't know we're stress for time. So basically, this is funded out of the Parkway Booster Club, and just asking for approval.
Any questions?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Newman, second by Mr. Bullard. Please vote. Unanimous. Number 4, request Benton High School Newman Mason Field at Tiger Stadium. It's Mr. Cottom.
Yes, ma'am. This facility, this group is a select travel baseball team, and they have submitted everything to the principal, got approval. They have all their hold harmless agreement and certificate insurance. There is a...
Oh, I missed one. Did I miss one?
No, ma'am, you're
Okay,
right on track.
He's talking about the right one.
Okay. Okay, all right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, did she read number 4?
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Okay, so this is just one of our typical facility use agreements. They are requesting some fee waivers for some work at the batting cage, which the information is listed on your handout. If there's any.
Second. We have a motion by Mr. Newman and a second by Ms. Poole. Please vote. Okay, now on to number 4, sorry.
That's okay.
Benton High School, Newman Mason Field at Tiger Stadium. Mr. Cottom.
Okay, this is another request from Benton High School. So this is pretty much same type of concept as we just did for Houghton High School. So we've kind of provided a range because the last numbers came in. So there's some things that we have to kind of look at and consider. That's why I kind of have some contingency budget listed in there. Benton High School does have, I put 150, but I believe it's more like 142,000 left in their bond funds. So the remaining roughly 1.6 million would have to come from the bond funds that are still out there for use. And currently we have, until we get the money back from Houghton that was used from July 9th, we have roughly 1.72 million available.
Motion to approve.
Second. Question, Mr. Newman, comment?
Mr. Cottom, what was the budget on Houghton's field?
The turf field? We first came at 1.4.
Okay.
And we were, go ahead.
No, yeah, keep going.
So there were some things that were uncovered during design, and that's when we came back. And plus, we did have the alternate for the improved turf. So this range of 1.7 would include a sort of a same scenario at Benton High School.
Okay, so instead of setting a budget at one thing, we're going to go ahead and just make a range, and so that way, if it comes in high, it's not going to be questioned. Right,
and this includes the same thing. So it would include a base bid. We would have to verify if the goals. You remember we had a goal replacement. This would include, and we will probably do the same thing with an alternate as we did in the last bid. So the alternates will be board approved.
But we're just when we come up with ranges, it tends to be at the top end of that range.
Right.
That's why I'm questioning.
Right.
I mean, I have no problem with turf at Benton whatsoever, and I
Right.
support it 100%. I don't support the wide range in the budget. I'd rather it come in like we did with Houghton, and we have to approve it step by step. But I support it 100%. I don't like the budget ranges stuff, and I think y'all know that I'm always going to question that. So.
And that's our intent is to have the base. And then of course, alternate 1 at Houghton High was the goals. When we have to verify if Benton needs the same goal offset, and then obviously we can do the pivot turf, which was an improved turf, and the additional contingency budget. You know, we had designer fees, and then we had some electrical stuff. So we have to evaluate Benton High School. We're not going to do that until we get approval, and we'll know that. And what I understand, this is a project that will probably, if approved, will start after the football season. So we're not going, we have time to go
Thank
through
you.
this.
Ms. Smith? I'm sorry, go ahead, Ms. Smith.
Madam Chairman, just so there's no misunderstanding, I'm all for this, and I always was negative toward these turf fields, but we're doing it, so let's do it for everybody. But I hope we do so with the understanding that we will put aside these conversations about relocating Tiger Field to the new high school. That if we're going to go put this kind of money into that field, then that is the site of the Benton High School Tigers for the next several years.
I'm sorry, Mr. McConaughey.
I just remember when we did the Halton one, we specifically made sure that there was contingency for the track, because all the stuff going over the top, I know that Benton High School's track's like the most used in the parish for parish events, so on and so forth. Is that contingency in this money too?
Well, that's, I mean, the contractor definitely has to, protect the track. If they damage the track, that is in
Okay,
there.
I just remember that specifically came up multiple times when we talked about Halton. Like, we were gonna redo the track, we were gonna make sure if they tore it up.
We're not setting aside money.
Okay, I'm just making sure because my wife happens to know a few things about tracks and stuff, and I'm gonna get asked this question more than once, but I just wanna make sure that, like, if we're doing this, and I agree with Mr. Newman, like, we saw how much this thing costs. Like, I think the scary thing is if we have the money, we need to do it. Everyone needs to have the opportunity to have great facilities. But I agree with Mr. Newman, like, making this, hey, it could cost this. Generally, we make things cost a little. So I just want to make sure in that we were also making sure that things that were destroyed were done properly to be fixed.
I mean, every site's gonna be a little different. Halton, is a little bit more feel versus, so that usually comes up during design, but we definitely competitively bid this out, so we don't have anybody running the numbers up.
Superintendent Rowland.
I just wanted to speak to Mr. McCarthy and Mr. Newman's concern. I did direct Mr. Cottom to give us a range in that this was done in short order, number one. Number two, we do not know if the goals are if we're gonna need new goals. Coach Moore may have addressed that issue several years ago, so that would bring our costs down. And then we don't know, we know we're not gonna deal with a maintenance bond, but we don't know what's gonna happen with the town of Benton with Rubicon Road and things like that. So because we did not have a lot of time, we wanted to make sure that we didn't run into issues, and we don't know of the added alternates that we may even need yet, because it's been a really, it's been a short process to get to this point.
Timeline, when will this go out for bid, and what are we looking at coming back? I know we're not in any hurry. We're not going to start it this year, but
Well, we would probably go ahead and get this gauged and get the engineer engaged and get the process going, and then we will bid out, and then when, we get a low bid, we come back to the board for award, and then if that project's not due to start 1 to 2 months after that, whenever the season ends.
the cost, so we'll know at
Yes,
that
ma'am.
point the whole cost of everything. Gotcha.
Any other discussion? Entertain a motion.
I made a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion by Ms. Poole, a second by Mr. Bullard. Please vote. Motion passes. Ms. Clark is here. Ms. Clark, do you have anything? All right, thank you.
Thank y'all for what you
Any other
did.
questions? Building and ground is dismissed.
We got it.